Welcome to Dysfunctional Adults, the comedy podcast in which we discuss weird news, pop culture, and being middle-aged dads. Yeah. We are bitter, cynical Gen Xers saddled with crippling debt and depressingly past our primes. But that's what makes this podcast so much fun. Take it away, Luke.
Luke Skywalker?
Hey. Well, welcome to Dysfunctional Adults, everybody. And I mean that to our audience who we never talk to. We act like you're not there, and I'm so sorry. We love you. And
I thought we were just doing this for us, like Troy and Abed.
Oh, no, I've been posting this shit on the internet.
What?
Oh, crap.
Sorry. But today we have a special guest. Our new host taking over for John, Daniel Swenson.
Wait, what?
Hey!
Don't worry about it. It's
He's
fine.
like auditioning for my role. This is like on-the-job training. I'm showing him what to do, and so when you guys cut me loose, he can take over seamlessly.
Yep,
Technically, I've been podcasting for 15 years. So I think
Yeah, he
I
doesn't need
one up you.
training.
You just
He does
speak
on
into
this
this end of the
podcast.
mic. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, Daniel Swenson, let me introduce him real quick with a few tidbits that I found.
All right.
Daniel Swenson is a professional odor judge and amateur human statue.
Sweet.
Is also creator and host of Hugo-nominated podcast Dungeon Crawlers Radio, our podcast's arch nemesis. So it is rife with geek entertainment and geek culture, as far as I understand. Is that correct, Daniel?
Yep.
All right. Going so far as to interview more geeks under the guises of upcoming best-selling authors. Is that also correct?
Yes.
All right. Awesome. This experience of interviewing these people has led Daniel down the ever-torturous hellscape that is being an author.
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll talk a little bit about that in a little bit. The Shadow Above the Flames, his debut novel, released in June of 2017, and his Whitney Award finalist sequel, A Dragon's Fate, released 2 years later. He wrote a middle grade novel so that John could also enjoy his writing, entitled Ginger Snap.
Hey!
Entitled Ginger Snap, a redhead's
Is there,
guide to
there
not
pictures?
Yeah, I'm sure there are, aren't there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sweet.
It's entitled Ginger Snap, a redhead's guide to not being eaten by a dragon.
Zach, you should read that.
I don't know how. That was made for you. He just needs to make a straight picture book for me. That's all I got.
I'm not a ginger.
Yeah. And that book won the Golden Quill Award.
Yep. Went on to win the
Nice.
Golden Quill, which Daniel subsequently sold at one of those We Buy Gold pawn shops in order to afford more D&D miniatures. Is that true or not?
I have a lot. I mean, I just dumped a whole bunch, but
Oh,
you
no.
know, I do paint minis. Yeah.
That is
Nice.
pretty cool.
That's great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Because I just knocked like 30 over trying to grab that one.
I'm so sorry.
He's like, Zach.
Yep. Curse
Yeah.
you.
Nah, it's my fault.
Curse you, Z. Daniel also has 2 short stories available, Dark Wings from Above from the Choose Your Own Apocalypse anthology, and Tremors Within the Storm, which is in Jason King's shameless plug for Jason King's Valkyria Awakenings anthology.
Who is that guy?
I don't know.
You don't even want
I've
to...
heard he's a jerk.
Yeah. We'll have him on as a guest one of these times, I guess.
Last time I saw him parading around as a vampire wanting to eat people's cholesterol.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a true story. We'll get to that another time.
Or now. We could do it either way.
No, I'll let you finish.
He is joining us today because we have questions to which we demand answers, Daniel.
Sweet.
So thank you, Daniel, for taking time out of your defense preparation in the matter of the lawsuit brought against you by Norwegian painter Edvard Munch for the attempted theft of his identity. And I have something I need to show you guys because I feel this is incriminating evidence.
Yeah, this felt more like a deposition than like a introduction.
You know,
It
I've been
is.
through court enough. It works. Woo!
Are you actually Edvard Munch, or are you being sued by him for identity theft? Which is actually happening?
It could be one or the other.
All right, handsome man, though.
You know, if there is a lawsuit pending, I can't talk about it. So, you know.
Let's see. There is also, as far as I understand, litigation coming up against you for also trying to impersonate David Wenham.
Okay.
Oh, wow. I never saw
Yeah,
the
yeah.
resemblance. Holy cow.
Faramir from Lord of the Rings.
Correct.
Also,
Interesting.
he was voted like Australia's most handsome man a few years ago. So
Yeah.
Wow.
Australia.
So
But,
it's
Isn't
like,
Maybe I should grow my hair out long.
there you go.
Can I do Australian? That'd be interesting.
All right. Well, that's your introduction. I apologize
Sweet.
if it seemed like I was attacking. I'm not. I'm just a jerk.
Yeah.
He's just aggressive this time of night. So,
Do you guys have questions, or do you want me to ask about the books? Or
well, maybe let him tell us a little bit about himself. Like he's been showing us toys.
I already
this
told you
whole
guys
time.
everything you need to know. What's
I want to see more toys.
If we did that, this would be like a 3 to 5 day long episode. I have so many things.
ready when you are? Then
Let's see. I mean, if you're looking up there, you can see a Stormtrooper helmet, Darth Vader helmet. There's a Mandalorian helmet. There is a helmet. It's an Optimus Prime one.
Nice.
Awesome.
There is Yoda over in the corner with R2. There is Han Solo frozen in carbonite. I own probably close to 300 board and card games. I have lots of books. Those shelves back there is only 1/16 of my book collection.
Dang.
I have a lot of books and stuff. So many books that my friends have told me never to have me ask them to help me move because they don't want to lift those boxes anymore.
that's fair.
Books-
You have to admit.
Books are heavy.
Mhm.
Books
They
are
are,
heavy.
yeah. I have every D&D book from the beginning of time almost, except for first edition. I have so many other role-playing games.
Is there a reason you don't have first edition? Out of curiosity.
I wasn't allowed to buy it.
Hard to find at this point, I assume.
It's hard to find at this point, but at the time it was out, my mom thought it was demon worshipping. The early 80s. You get it.
Yeah.
I've been playing it since I was 12, so that is 34 years now.
The reason I asked is because I was wondering if it was a personal choice. I know some folks don't like 5e, for instance.
They're monsters if they don't like 5e.
I agree. I like it a lot.
Honestly, if I could play any edition, I go back to second. I love second more than anything.
Yeah.
Except for, most people don't because you have to actually do math.
Yeah. I have a first edition. It's a recreation, obviously, but it's a
Yeah.
hardcover book. That, and I think the monster. I'm not super D&D, so I don't know the correct term.
The Monster Manual and
Monster
the
Manual,
Dungeon
yeah.
Master Guide.
Yeah. I have those two. I almost got rid of them, but I kept them for some reason. Maybe that reason was to send them to you.
I would not say no.
Fate stepped in a little bit there because I don't know what I'm never going to play it. I don't care for one compared to 5e myself. So
Yeah.
and
I mean,
more
don't get me
reflective.
wrong. 5e is fun. I enjoy it. I still play it. In fact, I'm currently abusing my current DM because I'm playing a Kender. Needless to say, I am stealing stuff all the time, and he hates me. So does the other half of my playing group. Because anytime I'll go, I'm like, hey, that was a good job, and I pat them on the back. It's like, all right, roll, see what you stole.
That's funny.
I always try to be that guy when I play D&D. I always try to be the guy who everybody hates because it's fun for me.
Well, they're going to
So-
hate you anyway as a person, so you might as well play the character too.
Right.
Because I'm a Kender, and I'm at level 3, and I already have a plus 10 to my sleight of hand check. So it doesn't really matter what I roll at that point.
That's
I'm
funny.
pretty much stealing something.
Man, didn't you play one of those, Zach, in one of the campaigns we played a long time ago? You were,
Long time ago.
you were a halfling, I think.
Oh yeah,
So-
totally obsessed
Yeah.
with Lord of the Rings, and that was the closest I could come. And I named him Cardigan.
Yeah.
We played with Scott, I think, Scott Horn.
He took
Nice.
over. Actually, he played your character really, really well.
Nice.
So-
Yeah, all I did was like pee in holes and stuff. That's all I pee in that hole or whatever. That was my whole gig.
I played with you once, Jason. You remember that?
I do. Do you want to tell everybody what you chose to be? He just wouldn't take it seriously.
Yeah. I guess I wasn't that much into it. What did I choose to be? I don't remember.
You were a paladin, but the big thing was you had a wagon full of like little baby animals that you took everywhere.
Yes, that's
Specifically
right.
had a piglet and like I don't remember other things too. And I understand. I remember that these animals were for nefarious purposes that we couldn't really role play, but you just wanted to have them with you.
Yeah.
Made it hard to dungeon crawl with your wagon of petting zoo.
I don't think you ever asked me to play with you again.
His heavy petting zoo, you mean?
That was a long time ago. We were like what, 14?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. No, that's not his thing. John's weird that way. So
Well, he clearly likes Friends.
yeah, I mean that's
Yeah.
what he chose friends instead of D&D when we were teenagers.
Gotcha.
He chose girls instead of dice, so
It's not
Lame.
necessarily one
What a
or the
nerd.
other, right?
and this was before the era where girls actually played D&D. Back then it was such a sausage fest.
Well, not only that, you had to hide it. Like
Yep.
you didn't tell
Yeah.
anyone at school.
No,
You had to have like a secret code because if anyone found out, man, you were toast.
it was like thieves' can't, you know.
And most likely in a locker for the rest of the day.
Well, now being a geek is kind of cool, right? Like with Fan X and all this other stuff.
Oh my
It's-
gosh.
it's a lot more out in the open.
It's so ridiculous. Like my kids are openly playing D&D, reading, science fiction and fantasy books and playing video games, and that's the cool thing.
Yeah,
You
it makes
know.
you envious of, man, why
Yeah.
wasn't it like that when I was a kid?
Yeah. I mean, when
Yeah.
I was a kid, it was just like, oh, look, you're a short little redhead and you play D&D? All right, you're going in the garbage can.
Yeah, we were the cool kids though, right?
Mm,
We were the popular kids, right?
I mean, eventually we've gotten that way.
Yeah.
Back then, no.
Well, Daniel, mainly we're friends. You don't
Yes.
really know John and Zach. So,
I mean, I've heard Zach's voice. I mean, I audio edited one of the books he did.
oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I feel like
Schism.
we've met in
Yeah.
person once, didn't we?
Yeah, we've met too. Yeah.
Okay, I
Yeah.
thought so.
Yeah.
Maybe twice. Yeah.
I can't say that I've met John though.
I think I have met you once at like a.
At a barn raising.
Well, it could happen.
No, were you ever like at a table or something with Jason at a Fan X or something?
More than likely.
Several
Yeah.
times.
if not that, at a table and a panel.
panel, yeah,
Especially
something like
doing
that.
Choose Your Own Apocalypse.
Yeah, I have seen
Yeah.
a few of those. So
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to, I don't know, just give you a chance. Tell us, you ran your podcast for 15 years. Just tell us a little bit about that.
So yeah, Dungeon Crawlers radio. I started that out of sheer desperation and boredom. I was working for a local radio station as a tech, and I wanted to get on air because that sounded really fun to be a DJ. I'd been working there for a year. Spoke to the program manager, said, "Hey, I'd love to get on air. How can I do that?" He's like, "Do you have any experience?" Well, no, that's why I want to get on air. Well, I can't let you behind the mic unless you have experience. And I'm like, no, I'll work weekends. I'll work overnight, anything. I'll work for free just so I can get the experience. Can't do it unless you have experience.
how do you get experience if you need experience?
You have
for
to be
them
born
give you
with
a
it.
Chance?
Exactly.
It makes no sense. It's a
Well,
paradox.
apparently most people get on a college radio or station or something like that, and that gives them that experience. So I started the podcast to show I had experience. That radio station no longer exists. My podcast survived that.
Nice.
I got together with a buddy of mine and said, okay, I want to do a podcast. Would you want to do it with me? We got to figure out a name. It has to have a dragon. That was my one requirement. The logo had to have a dragon. We were tinkering around with names in his basement, which literally had bars on the windows. He was like, well, we like to play D&D. How about we call it Dungeon Crawlers Radio? I'm like, all right, there it is. And that's how it started. We had 3 people that we wanted to interview: George Lucas, Bob Salvatore, and Tracy Hickman. Those were our white whales because we're like, yeah, that'll never happen. I got 2 out of the 3. And then George Lucas bowed out and disappeared by retiring and selling to Disney. So that will never, ever happen. That just ran from there. I've got to meet a lot of amazing authors and individuals over the years. Some really cool people that have been in movies and TV shows and game designers. So it's been a really fun experience. Eventually along the way, someone told me, hey, if you wrote a book, I'd publish it. I took him seriously and ran home and wrote a book in 3 months and showed it to Jason and a couple other people, and they gave me some good feedback, and that book became reality. And now I'm in that fun, creative artist torture of the 9 levels of hell, where I have 17 different book ideas and I'm still slogging around on the one that I'm working on.
We mentioned earlier his awards, so he's gone far. You've gone far, Daniel.
Yeah, that's so cool.
That is
Yeah,
awesome,
it is, but at the same time my head is like, yeah, but I'm not doing as good as that one or that guy, or which
Well,
I know I keep telling myself I can't compare myself because I'm not them.
Nobody's
Yeah.
ever going to be as cool as me, man. You can't compare yourself to me. I'm just.
Yeah, you were pointing at like Zach and Jason when you said that. Right?
definitely not
No.
me. He was pointing at Zach.
No, certainly not me either.
It's more like Brandon Sanderson,
Yeah.
Larry Correa, Bob Salvatore. I mean,
Mhm.
those
John
guys.
and I used to stalk Brandon Sanderson before he was super well known. Do you remember that, John? We'd go to all his like signings and stuff.
Yeah, that's where the big sexy Jason nickname came about.
Nice.
from you.
Yeah, my brother
yeah.
named me that.
Yeah, the first time we went to a Sanderson signing, he was signing 1 book per person, and
Mhm.
Jason wanted 2 books signed, so he brought his younger brother with him, who's not a Sanderson fan. So when Brandon asked who his brother Andrew wanted the book signed to, Andrew said, "Make it out to Big Sexy Jason," and Sanderson actually did. He wrote
Yep.
that, so
Nice.
that's become
Yeah.
Jason's nickname ever since.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's what we put on the restraining order, So
thanks for telling me that. Now I'm gonna have to say that.
I don't know if he remembers me. We
Of
met a
course he
couple
does.
times. He remembered me a little bit, but I think he's got too many people in his
You
life.
used
You've
to
been
bring
on
in baked
panels with
goods.
him.
I brought something for you.
now.
I remember.
Yeah, I put like GHB in it or something, and he would never eat it. But I know you've met a lot of interesting people.
Yes.
Who are some of your favorites? I know that you've mentioned
Some of my favorites.
Tracy Hickman, Bob Salvatore, but who else?
Bruce Campbell was one of my favoriets.
Nice.
That's
That's
awesome.
great.
And it happened in a really weird way. Bruce Campbell loved him in Evil Dead, Army of Darkness, pretty much every, Bubba Hotep and everything else he's made.
Briscoe
But-
County Jr.
Yep, I have
Remember
the
that
entire
show?
series. I have the entire
I
series
used to
on
actually like
DVD.
that show when it was on.
It's still good. What are you talking about?
Is it?
You
Okay,
still like
only,
it?
It was only on for like one season, right? But
It was two
two seasons?
seasons. Yeah,
Okay,
two.
well, yeah, I liked that when I was a kid. That was a cool
Yeah,
show.
I also have what was the other one where he's the Daring Dragoon? I can't remember its name. It's over on my shelf. But so I was at FanX. I was actually interviewing Michael Rosenbaum, which fantastic Lex Luthor, another favorite of mine that I met. And in the middle of recording this, because I'm out on the floor near the photo op area, there's this hand kind of just pushes down on my shoulder, and I'm like, oh crap, security's gonna pull me. This interview is over. And this guy just goes like, we're going to need you to stop this for a moment. And I'm just like, crap. And I look over and it's Bruce Campbell. And then he suddenly gets into this crazy fist fight on camera with Michael Rosenbaum. and then Michael Rosenbaum shoves him off the camera. He's like, I'm trying to do an interview here, you jerk. And he's just like, whatever. And then he walks off and I'm sitting there like, what the crap just happened? But that was a really cool thing. I've met and interviewed several of the doctors from Doctor Who. Those have been fun as well. But the biggest thing, despite those things, has also been, the various authors I've met and have formed relationships with. I met Jason, done the Spaceball Rugs together. There's been Tracy Hickman, someone that I grew up reading, Dragonlance and all of his books. I got to play D&D with him. He ran a Ravenloft game, the guy that created Ravenloft, and that was super fun. And not only that, I've also played Twilight Imperium and other board games with him. One of the guys on my podcast is actually his son-in-law, so I've got to know him and his family that way.
Oh, nice.
Bob Salvatore, same thing. Read his stuff and now pretty good friends with him. In fact, he also, read my first book and gave me some good critiques on that, which I sent it to him like, would you please read this and let me know? And he actually, responded, which was really cool. So there's been a lot of really cool opportunities and things that have come about that. And I've got to meet several amazing game designers as well.
That's so great, man.
Yeah.
A lot of dreams coming true there. I'd love to meet Bruce Campbell. What doctors did you get to meet?
Matt Smith, David Tennant, Peter Davidson, Sylvester McCoy, Paul McGann. There's one other one, but I can't remember his name now.
That's so cool, though.
But at the same time, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I've also got to spend time and meet Peter Mayhew before he passed away, him and his wife, Angie.
Is he like 7 feet tall?
Peter Mayhew is really that tall.
Because he's Chewbacca, right?
Yeah, yep. And he's not wearing stilts. In fact, I met him just before he had his hip surgery. And was it knee surgery? It was the knee surgery, excuse me. And they showed me the replacement parts, and it was longer than my thigh bone.
It was custom made.
Yeah, it really was. So I met him, Anthony Daniels, Hayden Christensen. I don't know why I can never remember his name. The guy that plays Palpatine. And then Luke Skywalker. I mean, I got to talk with Mark Hamill for a bit, which was amazing.
That's awesome.
I missed Carrie Fisher. That would have been awesome. But at the same time, I don't know if I would have wanted to ruin my ideal picture of Princess Leia.
Gold bikini?
Yep, of course. Who doesn't love Slave Leia? Oh,
every young male who grew up in the 80s.
Oh, yeah. Yep. That and, Kelly LeBrock from Weird Science.
Yes. Yes, I love that movie.
It's been a really interesting and fun journey going from wanting to be on radio, that failing, starting the podcast, and then meeting all these amazing creative people. And then, of course, starting to write myself and doing other fun things with it.
Nice. Is the Dungeon Crawlers podcast still going on?
It did stop in January, but it's actually going to be coming back here shortly.
Nice.
Sweet.
How many episodes did you do?
I've done over 1,000 episodes.
Wow.
Dang.
Nice.
Yeah. One
That is
year
what
we were
aspire
really
to.
yeah, one year we were really, really ambitious and we did 3 shows a week.
Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah, I will never do that again. But otherwise, every other year it's been 52 episodes, one a week.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. It was lots of fun. Due to some personal issues and with the whole team, we kind of walked away for a bit and I've missed it, so it's coming back.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
I thought I missed this podcast between the first and second season. Then we started doing the second season. I'm just like, okay.
He's like, I hate this.
You never know. I mean,
It's fun.
so we used to do them live. I mean, when we
Oh, cool.
recorded, I mean, there was a while where we did it live. We had people calling in. We also did it live from a game store.
Oh,
I
Zach,
mean,
we were on his podcast.
Oh
You
my
and
God. Duh.
You guys called in or?
no,
we
they were.
went there.
We were guests. It's when Thomas Destiny came out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why was I there?
Oh yeah,
You- 'cause
I
you
heard
were
that
reading
too.
Because you did the
Yeah.
voice. You did the narration for the audiobook.
I used to drink a lot, so don't mind my short-term and long-term
No,
memory loss.
we
No, I
it was-
remember. I heard that episode.
It
Yeah.
was 2016, and we went down to the gaming store in Draper.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't believe that slipped my mind.
That's okay.
Oh my God.
It was 2016. There was that weird fog of pandemic that ruined everyone's memory.
What can I say? Cocaine is a hell of a drug. So.
Yes.
You're in Glendale. Well, you were in Glendale, so that was meth, not coke. Give me a break.
There was a dusting in the air.
Oh man, that's funny. Well, cool. Yeah, that's awesome. I just lost my train of thought. So
That's
again,
okay.
Again, math.
Are you turning into an angel, Jason? Why are you so bright? What is going on over there?
Because I need
Are
to
you-
reposition my.
Is the rapture happening and we're staying here and you're gone?
Called up. Yeah.
I'm just gonna start like rising up.
He'd be like going down. Like flames engulfing him.
Yeah.
Burning him from the inside.
He's about ready to ascend, just like they do in Stargate.
Exactly. Oh, I love Stargate, man. Oh my gosh. Did you hear about the live reading that Amanda Tapping and some of the other, like Michael Shanks and a couple of the other cast members are going to be doing soon?
No.
I saw it on TikTok. Yeah, I don't have the info, but basically there's a script that AI wrote about Stargate.
Oh, really?
And they're doing this event where they're going to be reading, like doing a table reading the actors of this AI generated Stargate script. So pretty interesting.
That could either be really awesome or really scary, depending on
Yeah.
what it says.
Yeah, we've had a couple experiences with the AI. Zach likes to run our podcasts through an AI transcriptor
Oh yeah,
just to see like what it says, and it's so hilarious.
I tried that a couple times. Yeah, we got some weird moments.
Yeah. It is.
Sounds
not
like some
successful.
demon has stepped in, and it's a deep gravelly voice, and it's like, nope, we're not casting a summoning spell right now. We're editing that out.
Yep.
That's awesome.
What else you got? I mean, I'm more than happy to answer any questions.
Did you paint this?
No,
I know.
But
it
I-
was
I
Edward
wish I did.
Monk, and you are not him. I'm on the prosecution.
He's stuck on that.
I mean, I wish I had painted that. That would be amazing.
Sorry.
I mean, I can
Can't help
paint,
myself.
but
Oh,
not
do you
that
paint?
good. Yes,
Nice.
yes. I have a lot of hobbies, probably way too many.
A lot of artistic expressions. That's good, though. I mean,
I can draw, paint, photography, 3D print.
Not fair. You were
He's a functional adult. Yeah.
he's got too
yeah,
much
what are you doing on this
talent.
podcast? If you're functional?
I have way too much time on my hands. My kids are gone for a week.
Yeah.
1 week here, 1 week gone. I have to keep myself busy so I don't go insane.
he's a member of the club. He's been divorced like all of us. So
Yes, I have been divorced.
that's
I am divorced.
We all divorced the same person.
I hope not. I would not wish her upon any of you.
Oh man, do we need to edit that for legal reasons?
What do you
No, we're
think the
good.
odds are that she's listening to this?
Yeah,
Probably pretty
very,
low.
very small. Yeah. I have probably more kids than any of you.
How many
Yeah.
kids? How many kids do you have?
I have 7 kids in total.
And
You.
Are they all
And
yours, or did you
grandchild,
take
too,
them from
right?
like Walmart? What?
7 kids, 1 grandkid. 6 of those 7 children are redheads. They are gingers. So
You got me beat. I've got 4.
Yeah. When I was married, I had 2 stepsons. They were gingers as well. Apparently, some friends came up with the term, there's a murder of crows, but apparently when you have a pack of gingers, it's a murder as well. So, yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Apparently we're soulless. We just go around murdering people to steal their souls.
Well, I've got some hypotheticals I want to ask you, if that's okay with John.
Sure.
And Zach.
It's okay with me. Why do you need my permission?
You're my co-host.
Not for
So,
long.
Zach.
we
Apparently
had
not.
that-
I'm being replaced by an experienced host with 1,000 episodes under his belt. I think
I was
this is
gonna
like
say-
our 60th. I think.
Something like that.
Yeah.
However, I do like the fact that it's number 13. That just works. I'm a redhead and it's number 13.
It is. Yeah. There you go.
Yep.
And just like the Templars, someone has to die. So I guess it's John.
Aw.
Sorry.
Well, it's the
So
red.
I
shirt
told you you'd like him, Zach. He hates John too.
none of us.
He hates John.
None of us are wearing red shirts, though.
Well, I hate Star Trek, so that doesn't count.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's a big time Trekkie guy at my work, and he has this question like, why do big time Star Wars fans hate Star Trek? He says Star Trek fans don't hate Star Wars, but Star Wars fans hate Star Trek. What's the deal with that?
I can answer that question simply. My parents. My parents are huge Trekkie fans. I have watched every episode of the original series, Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager. They've
So
even
it's
made me wear
forced.
They've even made me wear the uniform.
Some of
they
those
were
series came out though after you were not a kid anymore. So were your parents still making you watch it?
And wear the
Not-
uniform?
not those ones. I mean, I haven't watched Discovery or as soon as I left the house, yeah, Star Trek went out the door. But yes, they were part of a club that had their own starship, and you were segregated into command and engineering and all science.
That is hardcore.
And if you
Yeah,
wanted
yeah.
to level up your rank, you had to take tests, and the tests were based on your knowledge of Star Trek.
Oh, a cult.
Oh my
They call
gosh.
those cults. I don't know
Yes.
if they know that.
So, yeah.
Do
So
they hate-
I was in engineering, so I got to wear yellow because it was based off of Next Generation and not. Yeah.
That is a good answer. Did your parents like Star Wars, or did you pick that as like a rivalry type thing?
So
It's like because it's like a sports thing. If you got to root for a different team than your dad does.
So Star Wars didn't come about that. My family, we went to go see Star Wars. I think I was 3, and I was sitting on my uncle's lap for Empire Strikes Back. That amazing scene on Hoth unfolds with that battle, and then you see Darth Vader walking through, and I'm just this 3-year-old with a bucket in front of me going, and I'm hooked. So it was just fascinating, and it's great storytelling and great characters, and so that's what hooked me. The weird feud and rivalry between Star Trek and Star Wars is because it's just better.
He's right though that the rivalry is pretty much one-sided.
No.
It's not. There's Trekkies
I know
who
a
hate
lot of
Star Wars?
Trekkies that bash Star Wars like crazy.
Is there? Okay.
Yeah. You watch movies and you see that feud going on screen. It's real. I don't hate Star Trek that, the point where I'm going to tell someone their opinion of it's wrong, but I think it is.
You'll just heavily imply it.
Yes.
What was that movie
however,
that came out? Oh,
However, I will say the new series, Star Trek Strange New Worlds, I will watch that. And that's only because, Christopher Pike is played by Anson Mount. And man, that man is handsome. And he's got a voice.
it just melts you.
Yes. I saw him on Hell on Wheels. Oh, that's fantastic show too.
Mm-hmm.
What was that movie that came out in the 2000s? I'm trying to think of the name right now, but it had Kristen Bell in it. She was not a main character, but they were going to break into Skywalker Ranch. Do you remember that movie?
Oh, I do. I have it here somewhere.
Fanboys, was it that one?
Yeah,
Fanboys.
Fanboys. That's it.
Yeah.
Fanboys.
Yeah, that's a funny
Mhm.
movie. I have
Yeah.
It
that.
had
They
Seth
have a-
Rogen in it, and
Yep.
he
That was
playing
JT's
Captain
favorite
Kirk.
movie.
Yep.
JT gave us all that for Christmas one year.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why I have it. But it was a good movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie, and they go completely crazy. There's a Star Wars, Star Trek bash in the middle of that movie.
Yep, I remember that.
There's a brawl. So
with Seth Rogen playing
Mhm.
a James T. Kirk wannabe. So.
yes. So because of that, I can't endorse any Seth Rogen movies because, sorry, apparently he likes Star Trek.
Yeah, I could see that. He loves The Boys too. He was in The Boys season 3.
Mm-hmm.
It was, that was gross. I won't say why.
Did you live in Hooper or Hooper?
So It's spelled Hooper, but it's Hupper. However, if you go to the city's website, if you want to learn how to pronounce it, they say it's like hooker, but with a P.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's funny. That's really funny.
It's like on the town charter.
Yep. Well, the old
Like
name
hooker.
for the town used to be Muskrat Springs. That
I
sounds like a
that
much
better.
that's a
Yeah.
much cooler name than Hooper.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the funny thing is, I could never pronounce it the entire year I lived there, and now I can. It's weird.
If they would put up that sign though, like right at the town line,
Yeah.
like hooker with a P,
Yep.
that would be epic.
Yes.
Schitt's Creek, kind of, you know.
Yeah. It's a nice place if you like being eaten by mosquitoes every day.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, it's really bad. So it's close to the salt marshes for the Great Salt Lake, and those
Okay.
mosquitoes are more resilient than anything I've ever seen. Like it'll be cockroaches and salt marsh mosquitoes.
Wow, you're really selling me on the.
But hey, the ground is so fertile, you get like nice baseball-sized tomatoes and softball-sized peaches when you grow stuff out there. But
Nice.
you can't hang out at night because there's this
You'll get
giant
eaten
swarm
alive.
of mosquitoes that want to eat you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm never going there. So
That's okay. I don't live there, so you'll never be invited there.
Thought you had some hypotheticals, Jason. I'm waiting.
Oh,
on
I do.
Yeah,
I'm
where
sorry.
where
I'm
are
so- oh
where's
my
the rest of
gosh.
these hypotheticals?
I'm so, well. I haven't even started because I.
Oh, we haven't even started. All right,
Well, let's interrupt him again.
Let's
So
dish it
did
out.
you live in Layton or Layton?
Layton.
Oh, nice.
Well, Zach is like doxing you.
No, I'm not doxing him. I'm asking questions about how these towns are pronounced. I wouldn't know. I'm in Albuquerque. I don't know how these towns are pronounced.
Yeah, so I'm not the normal Utah. I actually pronounce properly.
Hurricane or hurricane?
It's hurricane just because my grandfather would kill me, but it is spelled hurricane. He
Nice.
grew up down in Leeds, just outside of St. George. So
Well, see, I've noticed that like the only like Utah thing in my dialect that I've noticed on myself is I leave out like the T like in the middle of a word like center, like Centerville. It's not Centerville, it's Centerville, like
Oh, yeah.
Cenner.
Centerville.
yeah, I always
Like-
say mountains, not mountain.
Yeah,
Or
mountain.
it's a roof, not roof.
Yeah, like the Delta Center. It's not Delta Center, it's Delta Center.
Yeah.
Cenner.
Yeah,
It's not important. It's important.
yeah.
Well, Zach, you basically lived here forever, so you know.
So
Off and on. Is it a creek or a crick?
It is a creek, not a crick.
I do
Okay,
agree.
I
It's
agree
a
with that
creek.
one.
CREE. I mean,
It's also
not-
library, not library.
what?
Yeah.
Stop it right now. I will end
But hey-
this podcast.
Albuquerque is a fun place to live. I've been there a couple times for work.
It's fun. My car was stolen in the first, year and a half I was here. So, yeah, it's fun, I guess.
Well, that's what you get for leaving the keys on the front seat.
Yeah.
That's what you get for having a car.
Yeah. Yep. Learned my lesson. Never again. Sorry about that interruption, Jason. I was just joking. And
Yeah.
There's an easy way to prevent your car from being stolen. Just take the battery out at night.
that's a good call. I mean,
Zach's like
A
carrying it
wrench.
in every night. When you're too lazy, you're like, Charlie, go get the battery so we can go to bed.
battery weighs more than he does.
Dad, the battery's all acidy.
Shut up. Your skin's more resilient than mine.
Oh man, yeah, that did suck. That just happened. It's a recent loss for Zach. So
Hmm.
Just not a
Wow.
fan of this place. That's all. I hope they don't hear that.
well, I just had one hypothetical for you, and then
Only one?
You
You made
pro-
it sound
you
like
said
there was a whole
multiple.
bunch.
There
I'm now
were, but
disappointed.
Zach keeps doxing you, and I'm just on pins and needles waiting for the Florida man breaking news to like stop me when I start talking.
You
It's
may
his
have given
game.
me an idea.
Just keep going.
Yeah, just keep going.
Throw them out.
So, Daniel,
Yes.
what would you do if you found a dead body in a hotel room?
Ooh.
Asking for a friend?
Asking for a friend.
Well, first I'd probably take pictures of it because then I could use it for a book. How the body's laying.
Nice.
That was unexpected.
And I might want to test the theory out about, if you put a body in a tub of acid, will it melt?
So you're gonna become an accessory after the fact.
Breaking Bad shows
science.
that it does.
Well, I mean, it's like an opportunity. I don't want to kill someone to make that happen, but
But if they're already dead,
if they're already dead, I don't know who they are. No, just kidding.
their family might still want that body back.
That's true. Yeah.
Oh man, that was a very interesting answer, I have to say. So
Gotta make it fun.
yeah, absolutely. So here's another one. Which one would you prefer? Have no nose but have really good smelling fingers, or be blind but have a really nice smile?
Yeah, I don't want to smell with my fingers. We're going with a really good smile. Like most people, you have to wipe. I don't want smelling fingers anywhere near there.
Very, very good point. Zach, you're giving me PTSD, man. I know that's gonna
It's funny because my hand isn't even near the soundboard at all. You keep reminding me that I could do that, and I have no intention.
It's a very Pavlovian effect. I mean,
I did.
We had one whole episode where you kept doing it to me.
I'm so sorry.
Oh no, it's funny. What's been the most embarrassing thing you've ever worn?
The most embarrassing thing I've ever worn.
A Star Trek uniform.
Star Trek uniform.
All right.
We'll go with that one.
That
There's
was
actually
pretty
photo evidence of it somewhere out on the internet.
Oh, I'm gonna have to.
It
Hey,
does
Zach,
exist.
I'm on
you're
it.
stuck. Yeah. Zach's our man in the chair. So
It may or may not be on my Facebook page. I'll give you the hint.
That's where I'm headed.
You can tell that I'm really happy with the look on my face, too.
Daniel, what's your most hated mode of transportation?
My most hated mode of transportation that I own, or just any mode?
Any mode of
Any
transportation.
that you've been on or had to do.
Any that I've been on. A bus.
Yeah.
Hey, you and John.
Yeah.
I had stories about the bus.
I was a
Nothing
short.
good ever happens on the bus.
I was a short redhead kid
Yeah.
on a bus.
School bus.
There is a reason that there's a bully in my middle grade novel about a kid on a bus.
So you're talking about like school buses or public transportation?
Oh, just all of them. School bus, public transportation. They make no sense.
Usually-
It is the law to wear a seatbelt, and yet there is not a single seatbelt on any bus.
Right.
And they get in more accidents than anything. Like,
Yeah.
how does this make sense?
You meet some interesting people on the bus, and I don't mean interesting in a good way. Usually,
Well, yeah.
if you're riding a bus, there's a reason why you can't be trusted with a car.
Yeah.
Oh, sad.
hmm
Poor Zach doesn't have a car right now, John. So, you know.
But
I
if you
know.
want great writing examples for really crazy, weird, creepy people, go sit on a bus for
Yes.
hours.
It's a good place to go, absolutely. Or the Dirt Mall in Salt Lake City. I'm sorry, Valley Fair Mall in Salt Lake City.
That mall's actually improved.
It
doesn't
has.
look as crazy as it used to.
Not only that, it's like one of the last ones left. All
Yeah.
those malls we went to in high school, Valley Fair, the worst one back then, is the only one that survived.
Yep.
Valley
Crossroads-
Fair and Fashion Place and South Town are the
Yeah,
only real malls left.
Crossroads is gone. Cottonwood's gone. The ZCMI
Oh,
Mall is
I
gone.
love Cottonwood. I spent so much time there.
Yeah, Crossroads is one of my go-to.
Oh, Crossroads!
back
I
in
always
high
went to the
school.
Japanese store to get anime and stuff like that.
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Me
all
too.
those are gone.
Yeah,
Valley Fair is the only one left. It's not bad anymore, but
and Suncrest Video. So I'd go there to get all my anime pictures and stuff like that, and go down to Suncrest Video to get my movies. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
Suncrest Video, I
That's
remember
a-
that.
All right, I have one last question for you. Which superpower would you not want?
Ooh, which superpower? I've always thought about the ones I want, the ones I don't want.
I think super hearing might be more annoying than anything.
I would. I think.
Like Daredevil.
I think the Plastic Man's powers. I wouldn't want those. Because if it gets too hot, I just start drooping.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it just, I could never live anywhere warm. I could never go to Egypt because like my face would start running off and then I'd look like,
The
and
wax.
even my arms. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd start looking like my old first grade teacher with the flaps jingling along.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah. I think that would be it. I mean, everyone else has some really cool superpowers. I mean, I could tell you who I would not want to be as a supervillain. That's an easy one. But what
Who is it?
superpower?
Who's that?
Condiment Man. What? Seriously, why would you want to be Condiment Man? His powers are he squirts mustard and ketchup at you.
Oh, sounds
That's it.
delicious.
Kind of mildly annoying. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, And he's one of Batman's villains. Like, what the heck?
Batman does deal with the crazies.
He's got, you got Condiment Man, you got Kite Man. Again, another guy that makes
wasn't it
no
Condiment
sense.
King, or am I saying it wrong?
Excuse me, you're right. Condiment King. That's right.
Yeah.
Condiment King and Kite Man. Yeah.
Isn't your middle name Condiment, Jason?
Jason Condiment King.
You
found me out.
There it is. I thought his middle name was Danger.
No, my middle name is Cowardice. I run away from danger.
You got to sell it. My middle name is Danger.
Well, I have been scrolling through basically your entire life on Facebook, and I am still not seeing that picture, although I am scrolling fairly fast. So I will
That's just too bad.
Yeah, I'll find it eventually. I'll post it as like the episode art. You and
That's fine.
I'm just kidding. So, John, did you have any questions at all?
I can ask a few, yeah.
All right.
To give a call back to one of our episodes in the first season, there is a Russian cult built around the worship of Gadget Hack Wrench from Rescue Rangers.
Ooh.
A friend of mine, when I was a kid, had like the ultimate crush on her. So I'm going to ask you, who was your cartoon crush as a child or an adult? I don't care. I'm not
Jessica
judging.
Rabbit.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good one.
You answered that one really quick. So
yeah, if it wasn't her, it was Chitara from Thundercats.
That's also a great answer.
That's a good one as well. Nice.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. Gadget, sweet, innocent, but no, doesn't really do it.
She's like 4 inches tall, so you know.
Yeah, but I mean, she's smart. She's got that voice, that high pitched voice. I just don't get it.
You don't see it?
No, I don't see it. I can see why it's a cult now. They're all crazy.
On the flip side of that, which cartoon character would you most like to fight?
Ooh.
Like, who do you just want to kick their ass? Like, I asked this question to
Starscream.
Oh wow! Nice.
So that
he is annoying, isn't he?
He's super annoying. Like, come on. I may have watched way too many cartoons.
In the Transformers movie, when Megatron kills him, you were all kind of cheering for that.
So that movie traumatized me and a whole bunch of other people. That was one of the coolest scenes. Obviously, the first opening part was really cool. And then Optimus dying scarred me and everyone else that watched it.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, it does. They're putting it on the big screen again on May 18th, so I'm going to go see it again.
The original.
So this time it won't scar me because I've watched it.
That should be the tagline. Come, let us scar you all over again.
Yes. I have watched that movie at least 100 times. The soundtrack is amazing.
It is. I love that.
Yeah.
So Starscream, basically Dwight Schrute of the Transformers.
Yeah, pretty much.
I can see that. Yeah.
Pretty much. The crazy thing is, though, is he was a brilliant, if you read all the stuff before the series, he was a brilliant scientist, but somewhere he becomes this whiny, bratty turd that it's like, come on.
He's always bitchy.
Yeah. I didn't know if we could say that word, so I skipped that one.
Oh, we can say any word you want.
He's a bratty, whiny bitch. That's always trying to take over, and it doesn't make any sense. Like, why? Because you got Soundwave, that's the loyal lapdog that does anything Megatron does. Shockwave is still trying to take over a little bit, but he's doing his own stuff. And as long as Megatron doesn't pay attention, he's cool because he owns Cybertron while Megatron's stuck on Earth. But then there's Starscream that's always trying to backstab and does it horribly. Like,
and they put up with him for some reason.
And that's the thing that drove me nuts. Like, Megatron's this big bad guy, and I get it was a cartoon for kids, but I just wanted Megatron to turn around and just blow his head off and say, this is what happens when you mess with me. But we never saw that.
You had to wait till the movie to see that.
Well, we didn't even see Megatron do it. We saw Galvatron do it.
That's true.
Yeah, which was voiced by Leonard Nimoy. And then they went back to the cartoon and it was Frank Welker again, and it just wasn't the same. and Rodimus Prime was a weak Autobot leader that couldn't make up a decision to save his life. It was so sad.
Yeah. not my Autobot leader. Hashtag.
Yeah. Really cool toy. Well, not toy, character. The toys sucked back then. The newer ones are awesome, but I mean,
they were made of metal back then, though, weren't they?
They were. I may still have mine. But like Hot Rod and and Rodimus was voiced by Judd Nelson. So I was expecting like to throw the hand up at the up in the air at the very end,
Oh, that
like
was
on the Breakfast Club.
Breakfast Club music playing.
Yeah.
Don't you forget about me.
Was John singing?
He was.
I was.
New sound clip for later.
Yeah. Also, just a new album. We'll advertise it after this is over.
See, the good thing is you can use some auto tuning. There you go. There's some magic.
John sings his favorites.
Just take some clips from here and there and auto tune the crap out of that.
Well, so Daniel, you and I are friends on Facebook, and it says that we have 31 mutual friends. So I'd like to go down that list, and we can agree upon which of those mutual friends we mutually dislike in real life. Let's start with Jason. And why is he the worst?
I actually like Jason a lot.
That's a leading question.
No more questions, Your Honor.
Jason is always fun to be around. All around good guy. And I will say his last book, The Mad Reaper, was amazing. I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Yes,
And I've already said this to him, but it is on par with, I would say, if Brandon Sanderson was writing that type of genre, it's on par. So, And I know that means a lot to Jason because he's a huge Brandon fan, but seriously, it's that good. I was hooked after reading the first couple sentences.
Did Jason ever tell you what it was based upon originally?
No, I did not.
No.
I take it you don't want me to either.
We even interviewed him for the book and he didn't tell me this. What the heck?
Let's just say Jason's a very nostalgic person.
Okay.
And everything he writes almost is based on something multiple versions of that we had done like as children.
Okay.
He kept perfecting them over 20, 30 years until they got to their final version. So
nice.
We made a movie when we were 15. And,
not even that one. There was one even before that.
Oh man, John.
I am
like 13.
Well, that one doesn't exist
Remember,
anymore.
the one we made when we were 15 was based on the one we wrote when we were 13.
Oh, yes.
It was probably like 15 pages long or something.
So I am so glad that the movies I made when I was a kid with my friends do not exist on the internet. That was the back in the day of VHS. They never made it onto the internet.
Well, some of these were VHS too, and they've still been.
I don't know where the copies. I don't know where the copies are, but
Jason has made sure they live online.
Yeah, we were huge fans of Highlander. There were several videos of us fighting and beheading each other. There's the Moon Trader video we made where there's an astronaut that went to the moon to talk to an alien and barter with him to get the deodorant of Armageddon.
Nice.
We did a lot of news clips where one of the reporters always died in the episode. Yeah.
Well, see, that sounds awesome. That sounds funny,
Oh, they're bad.
You've read Mad Reaper. You know all the characters.
Mm-hmm.
Can you guess which characters each of us played on the original movie that we made that it was originally based on? All of us played characters from that book.
I would not be able to say. I'd have to go read through it now with this perspective of, okay, who, and then pick them out.
Well, John was Victor Reese.
I was Reese.
Okay. All right.
Jason was Sadler.
Okay.
And Zach was the district attorney, Monson. Was he in the book?
I don't think he's in the book.
He's not in the book yet. I don't know if he'll be later.
I was going to say that name didn't ring a bell, but all right, cool.
I don't think he was in the book, but yeah.
Nice.
So
yeah,
Jason always didn't want me to say all that, but I had.
That's okay.
That's fine okay. Because he may pay me like $5 to cut all this. So
I put some of my friends in my books too, so that's okay.
Man, after what we did to Chris last week, Jason, this is nothing.
Yeah,
this is nothing?
Right.
Come on, you can throw it at me.
No.
I'm a redheaded stepchild. I can deal with it.
Oh, no, I'm talking about as far as Jason's embarrassment is concerned.
Oh!
We put Chris through a lot more than that last week, so.
Yeah, okay. we have a chance. Our friends went places. Chris became a state record-breaking ultra runner, and so we had to
I'm sorry.
dig
Why
up
would
some
you
of
choose
those
to do that?
I know, right? Physically punishing yourself, but
is he a masochist?
He must be, because I don't think I can do that.
The only time I want to run is when I'm running from a horde of zombies. Otherwise, I don't want to run. I mean, I'm not in bad shape, but no, running that's torture.
Right.
Even in that situation, I think I would just lay down and die. So,
Nah, you got to live.
So
why'd you want to lay down and die? That would be a horrible way to die, getting torn to bits. No.
Yeah, that's true.
True. Still alive, whether eating your internal organs. No, thank you.
Yeah, I'll pass on that one.
I may change my mind then. What were you gonna say, Zach?
I wanted to ask one more question. It pertains to me a little bit. I also am a redheaded stepchild, so let me.
Sweet.
So
we have a common bond.
We're in a club. In your research that you did for your writing, did you find that redheaded children do indeed taste like ginger snap cookies, or did you just make up baseless lies about us, your own people, to hoard wealth through book sales?
So dragons. So Connor, the main character, believes that dragons eat redheaded children because they taste like ginger snap cookies. He doesn't know. I don't know. He just believes that because, well, he loves ginger snap cookies and they're delicious. And
They are.
he just thinks that dragons eat redheaded children for the same reason. And maybe he's basing that off because he's ate so many cookies that, you know, he licks his fingers and he's like, well, I taste like ginger snap cookies. So that's why he assumes that.
That makes sense. Okay. Well, then I will, well, I don't know what the legal term is, but I'll not actually keep that question.
You withdraw it.
Withdraw. Thank you.
Yeah, but I have completed the second book to that, which is called Ginger Snap Camp Ogopogo, because I'm going to create a series out of it. Ogopogo is a Native American word for sea monster. So where this is kind of based in Scotland, you can probably guess where the sequel's going.
Nice.
Yeah.
When does that come out?
Hopefully later this year. I don't have a date
Nice.
yet. Yeah. And then I have an idea for the third book, which is where the character goes and visits his cousins in upstate Washington. They go camping up in the woods and they may meet a very hairy creature.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
yeah. So it'll be fun. It's been fun writing that. I mean, my books are like 130, 140,000 words, and a middle grade novel, it's 30,000. It's like,
Yeah.
That's
Like,
author
whew.
speak. I've gotten on Jason for that too, but no one except authors understands how long books are by word count. When
okay.
you say like 130,000 words,
Okay.
that could be 200 pages. It could be 1,000.
So let me explain.
no
Let
idea.
me put it this way. A million words is a Brandon Sanderson Stormlight Archive novel.
So like 1,000 pages.
120 to 140 is a reasonably normal fantasy book, which is about 300 to 350 pages. See, it's all arbitrary because even though I'm saying the word count in pages, that can all change based on font
Yeah.
size and
'Cause
formatting.
I would think the authors would get tired of explaining that to every single person they tell, and it would be easier to just say it's 300 pages or it's 500 pages. 'Cause people
It
can
actually, I
understand
think
that.
it's backwards. You guys that are not knowledgeable should just look it up.
Yep.
Before a fight breaks out, suddenly, news.
Breaking news: the Florida Man update from May 8th. This is from 2019. Florida Man blames demons after attacking his pregnant girlfriend for playing Xbox when he wanted to go to bed.
Cool.
Florida Man claimed demons took over his body before he attacked his pregnant girlfriend for turning on an Xbox video game console before bedtime. Matthew Joseph Douglas, 26, was arrested Saturday night in his home in Hudson, Florida. Douglas told deputies that he blacked out during the beating because the demons had taken control of his body, and he claimed he couldn't remember the incident.
Oh, man.
So
What a jerk.
Douglas was held at a Land O'Lakes detention facility and charged with domestic aggravated battery. He also had an outstanding warrant for his arrest in connection with battery of an elderly person
So he beats up pregnant women and elderly people.
while he's possessed by demons, apparently.
What a gem.
Yeah.
What are you in for? Demon possession.
Like, yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh,
So did anybody have anything to complain about? Because you guys are getting up there long in the tooth. You guys are kind of old. So did you have any
Old man gripes.
any old man
that's
gripes?
it. That's the only news article you have.
Oh, I didn't know I was supposed to come up with more.
Well, I mean, I found one.
Yeah, Daniel's got a show and tell.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, a show and tell or a?
Yeah, here we go. So, man says his emotional support alligator has gone missing. Bring back my baby.
Oh, I've read that one. Yeah. Go
Yeah.
ahead. I like this one.
Joe Hennessy has thousands of social media users following his page devoted to Wally, the cold-blooded companion that he calls his emotional support alligator.
Aw.
He's distraught after Wally vanished while accompanying him on an April vacation in Brunswick, Georgia, a port city 70 miles south of Savannah. He said he suspects someone stole Wally from the fence outdoor enclosure where Wally spent the night on April 21st, and he just wants his alligator back.
Aw.
Why would you?
Blame him.
Why would you have an emotional support alligator? That's just crazy.
They're
I think
cuddly.
my question is, why would you not?
Well, okay. Only if he has like the Loki helmet, then I would accept that.
That'd be awesome. I think we need a missing alligator poster. You can put him up around town.
Yep.
Yes.
With the Loki horns, obviously.
Yes.
That'll get
Gotta
more
have
attention.
So you guys
Do you have an old man gripe, Zach?
I don't. That's why I was asking if you guys did. I didn't know if I needed
old
to
man
touch the
gripes.
button or not.
My old man gripe used to be when people would cross my lawn.
Oh, I'm too old for this shit. Sorry. I pushed the button and that's the end of it. Actually, it's the
It's
beginning.
over.
No, it's not over. It's the beginning. All right, go ahead.
No, when we lived in Saratoga, we lived in a cul-de-sac, and you couldn't go to the neighborhood behind us unless you went out and around the block. And so we didn't have a fence in the backyard, and people would cut through over my lawn. It drove me nuts. So I was that man out there. Why the crap are you going across my lawn? And then I put a fence up, and all the neighbors came and complained to me. Why'd you put a fence up and won't let our kids walk through the yard anymore? I'm like, because it's my yard.
You're
Old man
officially
Swenson.
get off my lawn person.
Yeah. Yes. I spend a lot of time fixing my lawn. It was an acre. It's not like it was small.
Yeah.
Well, where's a path? They dropped their garbage in my yard. I'd have to
Right.
pick all that up. I did find a hoverboard one time that someone just left, so that was kind of cool. But
Keepers.
didn't have the cord, so we couldn't recharge it. But yeah, it's a lot of dumb stuff that they would just do. And it's like, if they would have asked me, it would have been a different story. But no one asked. They just tromped through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lame.
That's why you should have gotten some Claymore landmines, One or
I
two
do
of
have
those
a
go
Claymore
off.
sword. But that wouldn't have worked.
Well, you just have a Scotsman laying in the grass, he comes up and just cuts off a limb and teaches him a lesson, So
Maybe. Ooh, what if I had just like scattered random bloody body parts all over? As they start walking through, what is that?
the skeletons of animals, I do have an old man gripe for this episode, just real quick. And I sent Zach some pictures and you don't
There's
need to play.
pictures.
Yeah, we didn't
Yeah.
do our what we've been doing, did we?
Oh my gosh, you have show and tell on
Apologize.
this one?
Yeah, we
have show
do. So my son Ben and I we were driving to pick up his sister and my daughter yesterday. We're driving through Salt Lake City on the west side, and all of a sudden the cars we were listening to a book, so we weren't really talking, but all of a sudden cars just started like piling up. Like not crashing, but just stopping. You know how it goes. And so we stop and we're like, well, what's going on? Why did the sudden stop? Well, there was a llama in the middle of the street.
Where were you at?
California Avenue and Redwood Road
Yeah.
in Salt Lake.
What? There's like no farmland anywhere near there.
No, there
Right.
isn't. So it's the last thing. There's the llama in the middle
You
of the
must have
road.
escaped one of the trucks from the truck stops.
Maybe. There were actually two.
Okay,
and
wait a minute. Before you continue, are you sure this isn't a guy in a llama suit? Or two
Pretty
guys in a
sure.
llama suit?
'cause
This
the
looks
guys
kind of suspicious.
the guys were actually chasing them. So we got pretty close. We could see it was real. At least either that or
Okay.
damn good llama suit. But yeah, so we had to stop and wait for these guys to like wrangle their llamas out of the middle of the road. And then of course everybody slowed down to take pictures and so
So what's going on here is Cusco is wandering around saying, "No, don't know, don't care."
hmm
that's what it looks like. So yeah,
Nice.
llamas and yeah,
See,
I think
What really was going on is
scrupulous.
these two llamas were really trying to find a place to go, hook up. They wanted some nookie, and everyone
Llama
was
nookie.
driving by and annoying the crap
Yeah,
out
I
of
mean,
them. They
look at that
just
sexual
wanted to be.
tension between
I
them.
know.
Look
See,
at
he's
the way they're
looking over
at
like,
each other.
yeah, he's like, "Give me some sugar, baby."
They're doing
Yeah.
that dance. What is that dance? The sexy dance, the Spanish dance.
Yeah,
The flamenco.
The flamenco. There you go.
yeah. See, that's what's really going on here.
Well, if you
And
want me to be-
everyone's just annoying them.
Comic book guy. I mean, the flamenco is from Spain and llamas are from South America. So
Doesn't mean they didn't learn it. They could have
Don't
ran
ruin
into
it.
some Spanish horses.
Don't ruin the romance, John. So. But I think we just came up with an episode title, Llama Love, or something like that. I just wish that would stop happening.
llamas in your neighborhood.
It's happening all the time, and you just you're tired of it. I'm sick of this shit.
These kids and their mating llamas in the middle of the street.
It's the 77th time it's happened this year alone.
Last year it was the peacocks that you had a problem with, and now it's the llamas.
Yeah, now it's the llamas.
Oh, I'm sorry. Peafowl, they're horrible. They're just horrible. They think they're so cool, with
Their plumage and
their plumage. They make that annoying sound.
cocky
Yeah.
little bastards.
I'd rather have a rooster in the neighborhood. Those things are annoying. Yeah, but man, they're tasty.
Oh.
Oh, I'm too old for this shit. It hurts my soul.
Why does
That's
it hurt
all
your
right.
soul?
That
Because-
song it's always so tragic. Like our lives are
Mm.
really tragic. All the things we have to put up with as old
Yeah.
men,
Yeah.
it's garbage. It's bullshit.
Okay.
So
Apparently Jason's is going really well. He's got a lot of amorous animals running around his neighborhood.
just animal piles, orgies in his neighborhood happening all the
Yeah.
time.
Llama orgies. Yep.
So, did you guys want to talk about what you've been doing this week? Since we kind of went backwards, I think that's all my fault, and I apologize.
I already did. That's the highlight of my week.
All right.
The traditional llama mating dance. Too bad you didn't videotape that. You could have totally done narrated the whole thing.
I
It's
just
kind of like
wasn't
Morgan
thinking.
Freeman. One day,
I
the
would've-
llamas
I would-
escaped and went down the road. They tried to find a Nookie place.
Oh man.
Unfortunately, the humans were pestering them and trying to chase them around. But what they didn't know is they were celebrating in their. Yeah, I can't
I
finish that
can
one.
imagine. I can imagine. So.
Yeah, that would be fun though.
So, between the two of you, because I don't have anything of what I've been doing, I got nothing. All I've got is a show and tell today. Did you two have kind of what you've been doing this last week that you wanted to talk about?
It was a pretty uneventful week for me. I was just going to share a texting conversation I got from a wrong number. But
Oh, yay.
This sounds fun.
first of all, I would like to give a shout out to Glass Crafters of Utah. I have never used their services, but I'm recommending them to everybody anyway, just because at least 2 of their employees have a good sense of humor about my bullshit. Anyway, I've mentioned this before. I always get texts and phone calls looking for a guy named Raul. Apparently, he's like a construction foreman, and his number is only 1 digit different than mine. So I get this text, Rolf, this is Brett with Glass Crafters of Utah. I'm running behind this morning. Can we meet about 11:30 or 11:45? Let me know if this works with your schedule. Thanks. So I texted back and said, 11:30? Well, damn, Brett, that's right in the middle of my nude yoga class. You know how hard it is to get a spot in Sensei Wu's 80 and over advanced class? Unless you're comfortable meeting during the class. Thinking emoji. Just remember, eye contact when you speak to members at all times. No looky-loos. And then I said, oh, wait, you said you're looking for Rolf? Yeah, that's not me. Sorry. Wrong number. Good luck. Winking emoji. And this guy replied back with 3 laughing emojis. And he said, I appreciate that. Thanks for the comic relief. I will track Rolf down eventually. A little bummed I will miss the yoga class. I said, yeah, sorry, man. I get calls and texts for Rolf all the time. Got to keep it interesting. Have a good one. And then,
Sounds like you guys are in love now.
no, but this next
Laura's
lady,
going to be pissed.
a couple days, 1 day later, the next day, I get another text. Says, hi, this is Kaylee at Glass Crafters of Utah. I see that we need to remove the big panel and fix some spots. I apologize for this. Can I get you on the schedule to do the removal on Tuesday around 2 to 3 p.m.? Again, they're looking for Rolf and his construction crew.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, Kaylee Stevenson? The same Kaylee Stevenson who dumped me in high school for that douchebag Derek Fisher? Just because Derek's didn't still wet the bed or constantly hit on your grandmother. And yeah, he probably wasn't hospitalized not once but twice for swallowing a handful of road tar either. But how was I supposed to know it wouldn't taste like licorice? I spent every night for the last 30 years curled up in the fetal position under my bed, crying myself to sleep as I look at our old prom pics. Just because I was breastfed until I was 11 doesn't mean I don't have feelings, Kaylee. So no thanks, not interested. And And she replied back, well, Derek couldn't help his incontinence. Besides, I got the ick from you finding out that you would keep used urinal cakes in your locker. She says, the breastfeeding explains that behavior. Your poor mother's nipples must be as long as a tree branch. This is some random lady at Glass Crafters, Utah, sending this to me. And she said, as for spending the last 30 years curled up in the fetal position and crying at our prom picture, that cannot be good on your back or mental health. I have a stellar massage therapist and counselor that I recommend you to. And anyway, thanks for the laugh. Sorry for the wrong number text. I responded back again. Oh, wow. I didn't expect such a great response. Laughing emoji. Much respect, Kaylee. The knuckles emoji. Good luck finding Rolf. I assume that's who you meant to text. That's always who they're looking for when I get a wrong number. Have a good one. She says, haha, I added an extra 7. I should have known after my estimator texted you a couple days ago and got a similar response from you. She said, love it. Keep up the good work. And if you have anything else you need to get off your chest, I'll be here Monday through Friday. Smiley emoji.
Dude,
Oh my gosh.
Send her the link to Dysfunctional Adults.
And I said, oh, yes, I had a good conversation with Brett, too. And she put, oh, my sweet summer child, Brett. He loved it and told me all about it. She says, hopefully I'll misdial again and we can do this another time. I said, oh, I'll be ready. And then she sent a picture of a gif of Jack Black from Nacho Libre doing some awkward smile. And that was the end of it. So yeah, mad props to Glass Crafters of Utah for hiring at least 2 people with a good sense of humor.
That's
Oh
fantastic.
my gosh. That is amazing.
That's like the beginning of a rom-com, you know?
Right?
Oh, man. That's funny.
Like at the end of the rom-com, just to solidify your love, she hands you like a used urinal cake. Oh, it's beautiful.
You're such a romantic, Zach.
Yeah.
No, that's part of his vows. Their vows at the wedding.
Uh,
I love you like a used urinal cake.
Urinal
it's got to be authentic. It's got to be used, though. So.
Did you
And
have
these
Oh, sorry.
and these 2 balloons signify your mother's poor nipples.
Aw. Awesome.
Oh,
Did you have
Man,
anything from?
she was good.
Oh, sorry.
I was just saying that gal's response was good.
right?
Mhm.
I was,
That was
pleasantly
epic.
surprised and impressed.
Yes.
Very, very epic.
Did you have anything from this last week that you've been doing that you'd like to share with us, or should we go to show and tell?
I started working on the 3rd book in my Dragon series. So it's the one that's following a dragon's fate. So
Right on.
something that I started in the pandemic before my divorce. I scrapped all that because I realized it was garbage and started over. So working on that. So the title for that will be The Corrupted Guardian. So I'm really excited about that and
Sweet.
getting back into that world. And then I came up with this really amazing idea that I don't want to talk about on air, but I'll talk on off air because I don't want someone to steal it.
Sure. Yeah.
But I'm really excited to write that one, but I got to finish this book before I go to that one because then I'll never write this other book. It's just the curse of a writer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, cool. That's great. Look forward to that.
Yeah.
Let's do this. And now it's time for show and tell. Take it away, Luke. That'll always be in my head. Thanks, Jason.
You're welcome.
Well, who wants to go first with their show and tell? Was that your show and tell earlier, by the way, Daniel?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Oh no.
What was
The,
my show and tell?
The
pet
Emotional
alligator.
support alligator.
Oh, what are we doing for show and tell? I don't think I was told.
Oh,
For the
okay.
show.
Yeah. No, he was. That's what it was. That was his
Oh.
show and tell.
Oh,
Oh.
sorry, man.
No, it's okay.
I'll
I
just-
thought we were showing and telling like something cool.
No, you can do that.
Or
All
something
right.
dirty, like we're
Zach, stop hitting on the
I'm not
the
supposed to
guests.
share those. I will open this one day. It's my
Ooh.
Tesseract.
Oh, nice.
Oh, cool.
Then I can travel in space and time like Thor, but
Hell yeah.
in the meantime, I just have to stay here.
It sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah. Then my 10-year-old while we were at Disney, put on the Infinity Gauntlet, and the power went to her head, and she flipped me off. That was fun. Of course, if she was here, she would smack me right now, like, it was a mistake. But I think it was purely the power went to her head, and she did it on purpose.
Yeah. I think so.
Power corrupts. Absolutely.
Yes, especially a 10-year-old redheaded little girl that, yeah. She learned at 3 years of age that if you got the boys to go take the cookies or the cake, they got in trouble, but she still got to eat the cookies.
Man.
Nice.
Smart.
That's Kingpin level Machiavellian, however you say that.
Yeah. She makes me proud, though. I will never say that to her face, but yes.
I'm going to send her just this clip. All right. Who wants to go first?
So mine was llamas. I'm done with my show.
Oh, I thought that was what you've been doing this. Oh, man, this show is all messed up.
It's
all out of order.
Like I said, it's my fault.
No, that's really.
This is
not,
what happens when you put two redheads into a show. Things just go nuts.
There can only be one. It's like a Highlander thing.
Mm-hmm. So that is something really cool. I'll admit that. So my family is into genealogy. For those that don't know what it is, I'm not going to explain it. But it was recently discovered that I am a member of the Clan MacLeod, which made my heart swell.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah.
awesome!
Yeah,
Just
I love that movie.
Time for the new Highlander.
Yes, actually, I think Henry Cavill will do a good job.
Oh yeah.
But no, whoever comes in as Ramirez is just screwed. I'm sorry. No one can take Sean Connery. Yeah.
No.
Interesting fact, though, about that: all of his scenes were filmed in 1 week. And he was paid $1 million for that 1 week of work.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he didn't even have to try because the accent was not Spanish.
Nope. It was really funny. The guy that was Scottish was played by a Frenchman, and the guy that was Spanish was played by a Scotsman.
Don't forget a basically blind Frenchman.
Yeah. Yeah.
My name is Raiden.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah.
I've always liked him.
Going Zach or mine?
It's up to you, man. What do you think? Who's got the closer?
I don't know what you have. I
know. I was just.
I have more amusing moments from history, so I can go as long or as short as you want me to.
John, there's people here, dude. All right, I'll go. So
no llama Nookie.
Some more random facts. The brain cycles that occur when asleep still happen when you're awake, but in smaller sections, meaning that parts of your brain are always falling asleep. Some of us are just sleepier than others. Isn't that right, Jason?
Okay.
Iceland has a dating app that stops you from hooking up with your cousin, which sucks because my Icelandic cousin is hot. But no, I've heard about this before. There's an app because it's a small island. There's not a lot of people, so they want to make sure that they're not boning cousins. But
I hate to say this, but I think they need that everywhere. I've been on a dating app and I ended up meeting a third cousin of mine. So yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, we were talking and her grandfather was my grandfather's brother. I'm like, yeah, well, cool. We're cousins. Good to meet you.
Was that in Utah?
Yeah, she grew up down in St. George, and I never met her.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
But glad we were having those discussions because that would have been really awkward later.
Yeah.
Better sooner than later.
3 children later. The Goliath frog is the largest frog in the world and can grow up to 12.5 inches in length and weigh up to 7.2 pounds. John, is that a Goliath frog in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?
Little of both.
It's a frog.
A little of both.
It's a frog.
December 12th is Ding-a-ling Day. A day to call friends and family that you haven't spoken to in a while. And I think surely, in 1972, when this holiday was invented by Frank Heil, someone was like, Frank, we should call it something else. Like Ring Day. I suppose in 1972, maybe we were not saying ding-a-ling, but really? I don't know. There were 19 living men in Austria found to be genetic relatives of Ötzi, the Iceman, in 2013, determined by blood testing. And when asked if this was exciting to learn he had descendants, Otzi, the Iceman, had this to say.
Never gets old.
Rolling back to your ding-a-ling holiday, when did that become established?
1972.
Okay, well, they've been using the term ding-a-ling to describe a penis since 1970.
Oh, you looked it up?
Yeah.
See? What? Frank knew what he was getting into. He knew what he was doing.
Frank was thinking something else.
When did that Chuck Berry song "My Ding-a-Ling" come out?
It came out in the 70s as well.
Was it the 70s? Okay.
All right, boomers were dirty.
Random fact, that was Chuck Berry's only, that was his biggest hit.
Yep.
Like that joke song about my ding-a-ling.
Yeah.
Wait, the song or
it's a song. It's a fun
got around
song.
with the ladies.
It's a song. It's a ridiculous song, but it actually became a hit.
That's funny.
Around 70% of people tilt their heads to the right rather than the left when kissing somebody else, and I wouldn't know.
Oh.
All right.
That's because you tilt your head back.
Am I doing it right? Yeah. And last one. Fruit flies were the first living creatures to be sent into space in 1947. When the first astronauts were asked if they felt honored to be included in the progression of space exploration, they had this to say. The end.
Nice.
Probably all they could say.
I think so.
They were redacted.
Yeah.
Because they saw what was on the other side of the moon. The Nazis.
Giant rotting watermelon.
No, don't you know? It's Nazis riding T-Rexes. Come on.
Oh, that's right.
They made a movie about it.
That's just what I fantasize about. So,
All right, John, it's up to you,
All
buddy.
right.
Take us home.
Well, once again, I like history, and I like looking up amusing moments in history. So here we go. The only Japanese passenger on the Titanic, Masabumi Hosono, survived the ship's sinking, but was fired from his job, condemned, and ostracized by the Japanese public, press, and government upon his return home for choosing to save himself rather than dying honorably with most of the rest of the passengers.
What?
Hosono lived out the rest of his life in shame and isolation.
Damn.
For surviving.
that's like Klingon level dishonor.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah. Speaking of Japan, there was a Japanese soldier named Hiro Onoda who was still serving his World War II assignment until 1974, completely unaware that the war had ended 29 years earlier.
What? Come on.
Onoda's platoon had been sent to a small island in the Philippines to spy on the American forces. He was able to evade capture and remain hidden in the jungle for the next 3 decades, dutifully carrying out his mission. 30 years after the initial assignment, a Japanese explorer named Norio Suzuki found Onoda in the jungle and updated him with the current state of the world. Onoda was initially skeptical and refused to leave his post unless Suzuki could bring his commanding officer down to the Philippines in person and give him direct orders to lay down arms.
Oh, man.
The commanding officer had to be brought out of retirement at this point, but he did agree to fly to the Philippines and relieve Onoda of his duties, officially ending Onoda's World War II service on March 9th, 1974.
Dear Lord.
Hey, wait a minute. So they ostracize a dude for surviving, and the other dude that survives on an island for 3 decades longer than he should have, he's okay.
He's honored.
He's
Apparently
honored.
So, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
In 1979, President Jimmy Carter survived a harrowing water attack from a crazed swamp rabbit.
That's not surprising. It's Jimmy Carter.
I remember this.
He was fishing in a rowboat on a pond near his farm in Plains, Georgia, when a large rabbit with a bloodthirsty look in its eyes jumped in the water from the banks and started swimming towards him. Quote, hissing menacingly, its teeth flashing and nostrils flared.
Run away!
Did it have huge pointy teeth and it would bite his head off?
Apparently so. The president was able to fight it off by slapping at it with its paddle until it swam away and climbed out of the pond. Carter's political enemies used this incident as evidence that he was weak with some even going so far as to claim that his frightened response to the rabbit attack was what gave the Soviet Union the gumption to invade Afghanistan later that year.
Politics has always been stupid, apparently.
Well, all he needed was a wizard named Tim. He would have been fine.
Have you ever heard of the term the Cobra effect?
Isn't that when you like raise your hands up, make a diamond shape, and hiss, and then you like suck the poison out of your armpits and bite somebody, and they?
It's not.
No, it's when you really like Cobra Kai and you keep watching it.
It's not that either.
Dang it.
It's also called a perverse incentive. It's a plan or incentive that ends up having an unintended and undesirable consequences that are directly contrary to its intention. So it ends up doing the exact opposite of what it was supposed to do. The Cobra effect got its name from a plan in 1800s British-controlled India. The city of Delhi had a big problem with venomous cobras around town. So the British government came up with this idea to offer a bounty where you could get paid to turn in dead cobras. The problem, of course, is that people figured out that the bounty they offered was much higher than the cost of raising and breeding cobras. So instead, it incentivized people to start cobra farms, raising cobras by the thousands just to kill them and turn them in for the prize money. When the British government discovered this was going on, they put an end to the bounty. But of course, now we're left with thousands of cobra breeders stuck with countless numbers of now useless cobras, which of course they then released into the wild.
Like you do.
So what started out as a small cobra problem around Delhi, India, now was a very large cobra problem because of the British plan to offer a cobra bounty. That's where the term Cobra effect came into play.
That's pretty awesome.
So it's not the self-defense mechanism of a slow loris. Got it.
It's not.
All right.
I'm going to keep going.
I mean, I haven't climaxed yet, so please.
Maybe one of these next ones.
Oh, man.
As accounted by the ancient Greek historian Herodotus, Xerxes I of Persia attempted to invade Greece in 480 BC by building pontoon bridges over the Hellespont, the modern-day Dardanelles Strait separating Asia from Thrace. However, that plan was thwarted when a tropical storm destroyed the bridges before the Persian army arrived. Xerxes was so enraged that not only did he have all the architects responsible for building the bridges beheaded, he also ordered his soldiers to wade out into the water and whip the sea 300 times as punishment for not complying with his wishes.
That's like a toddler tantrum.
That'll teach you.
Well, I mean, he did believe he was God.
Yeah. At his command, they also branded the water with hot irons and tossed shackles into it to symbolize the sea's submission to his authority.
Oh, my gosh.
Best of all, he even had his soldiers shit-talk the sea by calling it briny and turpid while they beat it.
Oh, my. That's awful.
I'll teach it to destroy his bridges.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
Tiberius Claudius Drusus, eldest son of the Roman Emperor Claudius and heir to the Roman throne, died in 20 AD when he choked on a chunk of a pear he threw up in the air and tried to catch in his mouth. So naturally, in a completely reasonable response, the pear tree was put on trial, convicted of murder, and sentenced to death by fire.
Humans are neat.
Good to see that the politicians and legal system wasting taxpayer dollars with ridiculous nonsense isn't a new thing.
Yeah.
This is a very Simpson-esque kind of episode in history.
Pretty much been par for the course since the beginning of time.
Amazing.
Let's go 2 more quick ones.
I mean, what kind of a defense did the tree have?
Right?
I managed it. I just stood here.
Just represented itself. So, in 1886, Liechtenstein sent out a battalion of 80 men to help invade Italy in the Austro-Prussian War. That army eventually returned home with 81 men. Yep. Not only did they suffer 0 casualties, but they picked up a friend along the way. An Italian soldier who thought they were cool and wanted to tag along. I imagine that guy was wearing a Liechtenstein t-shirt and like holding up a giant foam finger. Liechtenstein, woo!
Sir Ulrich Liechtenstein. Yeah.
Okay, last one.
Yeah, when you got Chaucer talking you up, of course you're going to get a fan or two.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. In 1714, a Norwegian warship and an English frigate were locked in a 14-hour sea battle. Both ships were badly damaged at this point, and the Norwegian captain, Peter Tordenskjold, which means thunder shield in Norwegian, so you know he's a badass.
Yeah.
The Norwegians were running out of ammo, so Tordenskjold had the balls to send an envoy to the English ship asking if they could borrow some of their gunpowder and cannonballs to continue the fight. He's like, I promise we'll give it right back, like as quick as we can from our cannons. The English captain politely declined the request, but he was apparently so impressed by Tordenskjold's audacity that he agreed to call off the battle. Both captains toasted and complimented each other, and the ships parted on amicable terms.
No, that was his excuse for being a chicken shit. He knew he was going to get his ass kicked.
By the ship that has no more ammo?
I'm impressed. So
I'm sorry, his name's Thunder Shield.
Hey, thank you.
Exactly.
He probably has a connection to Thor. Lightning bolts out of the sky.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He doesn't even need ammo.
No.
Tordenskjold was later court-martialed for asking the English ship to borrow some of their ammo, but all charges were dropped because the judge found the entire ordeal hilarious. And Tordenskjold was later promoted instead.
What?
I think that story is awesome.
That's a good one.
Fantastic.
That is amusing moments from history.
Well, that's wonderful. Did you want to plug any of your pluggables or any of your socials there, Daniel?
Oh, fun. Yes. So all the episodes of Dungeon Crawlers is still out there. I can go to dungeoncrawlersradio.com, find it on Apple's, what is it called? The apps, not the iTunes. That's what it's called. Yeah, iTunes, Google Play, all that. You can find it there. You can find, all my books on Amazon, at Barnes & Noble, anywhere online. The audiobook for both The Shadow Above the Flames and A Dragon's Fate is available on Audible. And you can find my stuff at dragonsfate.com. That's my website. You can also just look me up on social media and find me there. You can find all that fun stuff. And yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Awesome.
After I play the outro and all that stuff, will you send, I guess Jason, if that's who you're in contact with, just send him a quick email or send it to me?
We're also friends on Facebook, so I can send it to you that way too.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
I mean, you did mention that earlier in the episode.
Well,
but you didn't finish the whole 30 different
list.
other friends that we have.
Well, you
just
said you
stopped
liked
at Jason.
You said you liked Jason, so I
I
disagree, we're not friends on Facebook anymore.
That doesn't
You
mean
unfriended him during the podcast?
that doesn't mean that I like everyone else. I mean, wow, jeez. Of course he did.
That's
I
funny.
can't like you anymore because you like Jason.
All right. Well, thanks so much.
Yeah.
Thanks, Daniel.
It's been great.